ආරබත නික්කමත යොංජත බුද්ධ ශාසනේ දුනාත මච්චුනෝසේනං නලාගාරං වකුංජරෝ යෝයිමස්මින් ධම්ම විනයේ අප්පමත්තෝ විහෙස්සති පහාය ජාති සංසාරම් දුක්ඛසන්තං කරෙස්සති බුද්ධං 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 වන්දේ ධම්මං 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 වන්දේ සංඝං 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 වන්දේ බුද්ධං ධම්මං සංඝං වන්දේ. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, homage to the Sangha, the noble disciples of the Buddha. Homage to the triple gem. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable sirs, monastics, friends in the Dhamma, you all are welcome to the Sri Sampana Monastery. Now we are going to start our daily Dhamma discussion. In this session, we hope to discuss Saggamagga and Mokkhamagga, the path of a blissful life or the path of heaven or heavenly path, and the path of deliverance or the path of enlightenment. When we see the Buddha's message, it has a gradual path. The Buddha says very clearly, his Dhamma is like the ocean. You know the ocean? Ocean deepens gradually. From the beach to the deeper level, the ocean gradually goes to the deeper level. The Dhamma, what the Blessed One explained also like that. It has a gradual path. Firstly, we practice dana or generosity. Next, we practice virtue or moral conduct. Next, we practice samadhi bhavana or tranquility meditation. Gradually, we come to mindfulness. Finally, we come to wisdom. Ultimately, we become liberation. This is the order of the Dhamma, what the Buddha explained. In various ways, we can explain this gradual path. Sometimes Buddha says, you have to practice only one thing, which is mindfulness. Sometimes Buddha says you have to practice only samatha and vipassana. Sometimes Buddha says you have to practice three things: sila, samadhi and panya. Virtue, tranquility meditation or samadhi, and wisdom, panya. Sometimes you have to practice 5 spiritual faculties: saddha or confidence, virya, energy, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, tranquility or concentration meditation, and panya, wisdom. Sometimes Buddha has explained you have to practice 7 enlightenment factors: sati, dhammavicaya, virya, next piti, after that passaddhi, samadhi and upeksha. mindfulness, then keen investigation, energy, rapture, tranquility, samadhi, and upekkha. Sometimes Buddha says you have to practice 7. Sometimes Buddha says you have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. Right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right tranquility. In this way, we can see, according to the audience, Buddha has explained his message in various ways. However, finally, we have to practice mindfulness. When Buddha attained enlightenment, Samma Sambuddha, the supreme enlightenment, Buddha saw a very special thing. He gained some spiritual energies when he attained enlightenment, such as 𝒮𝓃 the understanding of the previous lives, and especially he gained the 𝒮𝓃 He had a special spiritual energy that he knew how a person dies in this world and also how he will be reborn. When he saw this nature of beings, he was so compassionate. Why is it that many people who die in this world, as soon as they die, where do they go? They go to the lower realms, hells. In that situation, Buddha was so compassionate about this world. After his enlightenment, when he went to preach Dhamma, Buddha realized that there are some people in this world, they can't attain enlightenment in this life itself. Therefore, they should have a protection. After they die, they may go to lower realms. Therefore, the Buddha's main attempt was to explain the path of a blissful life hereafter. How we receive a blissful life after we die in our next life. And also Buddha explained directly his main doctrines for enlightenment, how suffering arises and how suffering ceases. That is especially for the wise people. When Buddha preached Dhamma, he followed the gradual path. Firstly, he explains about the dana or generosity, and also he explains sila, virtue. He explains the nature of lower realms and higher realms. Finally, he explained the path of deliverance, the mokkha-magga, the path of liberation. When we see the Buddha's message, all the doctrines, what he explained for 45 years, can be summarized into 3. The teachings that help us to succeed in this life itself, and the teachings that directly helps us to go to a blissful life, and the teachings that directly helps us to overcome suffering completely. We can see these 3 things in his doctrines, in his advice. Firstly, Buddha explained how we succeed in this life. Next, he explained how we succeed our next life. And also, he explained how we succeed our enlightenment. There is a very special discourse which is 𝒮𝓃 Sutta. The discourse of 𝒮𝓃, a young person, householder, came to Buddha and asked, Bhante, we are lay people. We have children. We wear very valuable clothes and we wear jewels. Please explain something which is useful in this life, and also please explain the way how we succeed our next life. Firstly, Buddha explained the things that directly help us to succeed in this immediate life. Buddha explained 4 things how we succeed in this life. Utthana Sampada, Āraka Sampada, Kalyana Mittata, Samajivikata. Utthana Sampada, energy, working hard for our education and for our career, for our jobs. Āraka Sampada, protection, what we earned. And third one, associate in good friends, good association. And fourth one, balanced livelihood. We should spend our money according to our earnings. Income and expenditure should be balanced. These 4 things are useful for the success of this immediate life. What they are? Energy, the accomplishment of energy, Utthana Sampada, Āraka Sampada, the accomplishment of protection, what we earned, associate in good friends, and balanced livelihood. These 4 things are very important, useful when we are going to succeed this immediate life. As young people, we should study, we should gain our education well. That is useful for our future. Not only we study or learn, but we have to earn money righteously and honestly. That helps us to succeed in this immediate life. And next, we should protect the thing that we earned working hard. That is also important. And very important thing, our association, whom you associate with. It means not only you should be near someone, but what you listen, that is your association. Your association depends on what you see and what you hear. That is our association. Here, if we have good association, good listening, it means we can go forward in our day-to-day life activities, and especially we can go forward in our spiritual life. And also balanced livelihood. We should spend our money according to our income. That is also important, balanced livelihood. These 4 things are useful in order to succeed this immediate life. Here, especially in this discussion, we hope to talk about how we succeed our next life and how we attain our spiritual goals. Saggamagga and Mokkhamagga, heavenly path or the path of blissful life, and Mokkhamagga, the path of deliverance. Buddha says, why do we need to listen to Dhamma? There are three reasons why we have to listen to Dhamma and why we should associate with a spiritual teacher. Because of three reasons, three causes, we have to listen to Dhamma and we have to practice Dhamma. We have to associate a spiritual teacher. What are the reasons? What are the causes? The very first one is aging or decay. Day by day we are going to old age. We are heading for sticks, walker. That is one of the reasons that we should find a Dhamma and practice Dhamma. The second one, death. We are gradually reaching our final destination, death. Not only that, the most valuable thing why we need a Dhamma and practice Dhamma. What is? Rebirth, birth. These three things are the causes why we need to practice Dhamma. If these three things are not in this world, we don't need to listen to Dhamma, we don't need to practice Dhamma, we don't need to find a spiritual teacher. Forever if you live, if you can stay your young age, you don't need to find the Dhamma. But day by day, we are going to old age, reaching the death. After we die, we will be reborn. Because of these three reasons, we have to practice Dhamma. Whether we like or not, this is the nature of our life. In this situation, Buddha says the nature of our life. Mano pubbangama dhamma, mano setta manomaya. Mind is the forerunner. Mind is chief. Mind made dade. If someone does something with a pure mind, physically, verbally, or mentally, happiness follows him because of pure mind. If someone does something with an impure mind, because of impure mind, suffering follows us. This is the nature of our life. Whether we like or not, this is the reality. Whenever our mind is impure, our actions are incorrect, suffering follows us. Whenever our mind is pure, our activities are correct, happiness follows us because of pure mind. With this understanding, we try to overcome negativities from our mind, and also we try to cultivate positive thoughts in our minds as much as we can. With this understanding, especially we practice three meritorious deeds. practicing generosity, practicing virtue or moral conduct, and practicing meditation. Generosity can be practiced into three ways. Amisadana, Abhedana, Dhammadana. Amisadana means giving materials such as food, shelter, clothes, medicine. If we can donate, share these things with others, that is the way how we practice generosity as amisadana, material givings. The second one, abhedana, giving fearlessness. If someone is close to die, if we can protect their lives, that is the way how we practice abhedana, giving lives. And the third one, Dhammadana, the gift of Dhamma, sharing Dhamma with others. What is the most valuable generosity among these three things? Amisadana, Abhedana or Dhammadana? What is the most valuable thing? The Buddha says, Sabbadhanam Dhammadanam Jinati. The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts. Dhammadana or the gift of Dhamma is the best. And also the second one, Sila or virtue, moral conduct. Especially here, Buddhism emphasizes the importance of practicing 5 precepts. Abstaining from taking life, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from foul speech, and abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs that causes heedlessness. These are the human qualities. This is the way how we can spend a moral life, ethical life. This is the way how we can live easily, comfortably. If we can practice these 5 things, our family life, our social life are successful. We have no fear, no doubt, no regrets. If we can practice these 5 human values, human qualities, 5 precepts, Sila, discipline in our speech and behavior. When we do something, when we speak something, we should think again and again whether it is correct. Since our mind is the most valuable thing, always we should try to protect our mind. Sila definitely helps us to discipline our speech and behavior. These are the meritorious deeds. Generosity is a meritorious deed. Virtue of Panchasila, 5 precepts, is a meritorious deed. And bhavana, meditation, mental culture. In this level, metta bhavana is highly appreciated in Buddhist teachings. We contemplate on thus, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Again and again we think that may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Again and again we think it, we contemplate on it. Buddhism explains that among these 3 meritorious activities, generosity, virtue and meditation, Metta Bhavana is the most valuable meritorious act. When we collect all the meritorious acts in one side, if we keep other side Metta Bhavana, which is the most valuable act, Metta Bhavana. If we can practice loving kindness meditation at once for one person, may this person be well, happy and peaceful at once. That once reflection is more valuable than all the good activities that we practice. What is the reason? Why Buddhism emphasizes the importance of practicing Metta Bhavana? Whenever we practice loving kindness meditation, at that moment, our mind has no lust, no craving, no anger, no jealousy, no conceit, no any other defilements in the mundane level, except ignorance. Whenever we think, may this person be well, happy and peaceful again and again, as the result of practicing Metta Bhavana, when we meet a person, immediately we think that person is like only son and daughter. As soon as we hear a sound of a person, we think that is my son, that is my daughter. Whenever we remember someone, we think that that person is like my only son or daughter. When we see a person, as soon as we see a person, we see that person like my only son or daughter. Then how our mind is beautiful. The Dhamma explains, let's live happily without anger among the people who are angry. This is our skill. If we can make an unshakable mind among the angry people, that is our success. It means we are healthy mentally. A lot of people in this world, suddenly they get angry. Among those people, I am a person who doesn't get angry. For that, we have to practice Metta Bhavana again and again. Sitting in a particular posture, keeping our body straight, closing our eyes gently, keeping our attention in this area. We think that may all beings at this monastery be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings in this city, in this county, in this province, in this county, in this country, in this continent, in this planet, the earth, in this solar system, in this Milky Way galaxy, in this universe, in this entire world, be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. If we have this intention, our mind has no greed, If we see everyone like our son or daughter, are we greedy? No, our mind has no greed at that moment. Our mind has no jealousy, no conceit, no lust at that moment. Then our mind is so beautiful. If we can maintain these three meritorious deeds again and again, generosity, virtue, and meditation, metta bhavana. This is the way how we make our minds beautiful. By practicing Dhamma, we beautify our minds. The more we practice meritorious deeds, the more we are happier. When we have a generous heart, our mind is so happy. When we practice sila, we are very peaceful. When we practice metta bhavana, we have no anger. Anger is one of the main reasons that disturbs our peace of mind. Anger is one of the enemies who steal the peace of mind. Therefore, again and again, we have to practice metta bhavana. With these three meritorious deeds, we can cultivate our mind and we can purify our minds. As the result of this practice, we can succeed this life, we can live happily in this life. Not only that, as soon as we pass away, we die, we have a blissful life. We have no fear. We can face our final moment, final breath, successfully, happily, without fear, without suffering, since we know very well, as soon as we die, we have a new birth with more facilities. Therefore, we face our death peacefully and happily. Removing our old physical body, we can receive a new body with new friends. There we have no enemies. All are new friends. When we receive a new life, we are welcome with all people. We are welcomed by everyone. Everyone is waiting for us until we are born. And also everyone is friendly with us. This is the way how we can receive a blissful life, whether we believe or not. If you don't believe a next life, it is okay. By doing these activities, you can succeed this immediate life. As the result of practicing these qualities, especially by practicing generosity, you have a very special benefit, special result. What is that? When you are generous, you receive very special benefit. What is that? Good association. The more you practice generosity, the more you receive good association. You receive the Dhamma through the good association. You receive the best Dhamma message in this world. It doesn't mean that you associate a person physically, but however, you can receive the message through good association. Since in the present society, we have a lot of resources, sources that bring us the Dhamma. Then we understand the Dhamma. The Buddha says very clearly, in the past and the present, I explain only suffering and the cessation of suffering. If something which arises in the world, that is suffering. If something which ceases in this world, that is also suffering. This explanation has a very deep meaning. Buddha says, if something which arises in the world, that is suffering. If there is something which ceases in this world, that is the nature of the cessation of suffering. What is that? This sentence has a very deep meaning. If something that arises in this world, that is suffering. If something that ceases in the world, that is the cessation of suffering. What are the things which arise in this world? Our relatives, our neighbors, our properties, our jobs, our education, our physical body, whatever we see, whatever we taste, whatever we smell, whatever we hear, whatever we contact, these are the things that arise in the world. Those things depend on ignorance. Whenever you think something, at that moment you think there is something in the outside world. When you remember your house, you think house is there. When you remember your vehicle, you think that vehicle is in the parking lot. When you remember your educational qualifications, you remember your school, your university, your certificates, your teachers, your professors, you think they are there. If you think there is something in this world, that is suffering. Why that is suffering? If we think there is something in this world, we can enjoy with them, but whenever we leave them, we are suffering. Not only that, when they go to old age, sickness, decay, we are suffering because we think there is something in the world, and also we have an effort in order to protect them, in order to maintain them. That is why Buddha says, if something arises in the world, that is the arising of suffering. And also, if you think those things has already ceased completely without remaining anything, That is the cessation of suffering. That is the way how we release our weight. We are lifting very heavy weight. What we hear, what we see, what we smell, everything is in our minds. Whenever we remember them, they are in our world. But whenever we recognize that all the experiences that I have received has already ceased, whenever I remember them, again I create them at this present moment, again they cease, arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. This is the highest understanding of the Dhamma. Every moment, our mind and body, with details, five aggregates, form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. These five things arise at the moment. Every moment they cease. Whatever we see, these five things arise and immediately they cease without remaining anything. Arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. If we think this is the reality of our life, we come to the confidence in this reality. Then our understanding come to confidence. That is said as 𝒮𝓃 the wisdom of hearing. When we hear something, if we believe it, if we are confident in this message, then our understanding come to the 𝒮𝓃 the wisdom of hearing or listening. Then we think it again and again. That comes to next level of wisdom, 𝒃𝓃 the wisdom of contemplating on. We think again and again this reality, and also by practicing Dhamma, practicing meditation, we cultivate, we develop this understanding, bhavanamaya panya, the wisdom of meditation, as samatha and vipassana bhavana. When we come to this understanding, we immediately find the path. What is the path? The Buddha says, Ujjuko nama somaggo abhaya nama sadisa. This path is direct path, straight path, and fearless path, which is Ariya Atthangika Magga, the Noble Eightfold Path. We find a very clear path with a red carpet, golden carpet. The main advice of Buddhist teachings, the Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, right understanding. Samma Sankappa, right intention. Samma Vaca, right speech. Samma Kammanta, right action. Samma Ajiva, right livelihood. Samma Vayama, right effort. Samma Sati, right mindfulness, and Samma Samadhi, right tranquility or concentration. Now we have a refuge. We have a protection. We don't need to depend on anyone in this world. Physically, we have some kind of connection with others, but mentally, we don't need any refuge from the outside world. As soon as we come to this practice, we are starting to be happy in this present moment. Until we come to this message, we are seeking happiness, but we are not experiencing happiness. That is why always we wish a better tomorrow. That tomorrow never comes. When you study, when you work, when you earn money, when you feed your children, when you help others, when you build your new house, when you are going to buy a new car, you always think that my happiness is tomorrow. That tomorrow never comes until we die. But when we come to this practice, the Noble Eightfold Path, as soon as we enter this message, we start our happy life. We experience happiness at this present moment, since little by little we purify our mind from craving, anger, and delusion. In this level, we find a very special meditation technique, which is Anapanasati Bhavana, mindful breathing. We keep our attention in this present moment. When we breathe in, we are aware of that now I am breathing in. When we breathe out, we think that I am breathing out. Here, we don't think our past or future. We directly keep our attention in the present moment with breathing in and out. When mind gradually gains concentration, whatever we remember which happened in the past, we immediately understand that experience has already ceased. When I look it again five aggregates arise with the conditions, and again it ceases, again arises, ceases, arises, ceases. Our all experiences are like that. When we go to a mirror, our reflection arises at the moment. That reflection didn't come to the present from the past. That reflection will not go to future from the present. It arises at the moment with the conditions. It ceases at the moment. Our all experiences, our internal senses, external objects, six consciousnesses, everything arises at the moment, they cease at the moment. Again we can create them. Then we overcome extremes. What are the extremes? If we think there is a world as eternalism, Sasatvada. That is an extreme. If we think there is nothing, there is no world, there is no formal world, that is an extreme. That is nihilism or annihilism. We overcome these both extremes by one vision. What is that? The dependent origination. Iti imasmin sati idang hoti, imasmin asati dana hoti. When this is, when this is not, this is not. This sound. When these all causes are together, this sound arises at the moment. This sound didn't come to the present from the past. And this sound didn't go to future from the present. It arises at the moment, it ceases at the moment. If you have this understanding, we don't go to the extremes as eternalism or annihilism. Because we have this vision, the understanding of the dependent origination or causality, Patisampada, which is the main advice of Buddhist teachings. Main doctrine in Buddhism. Patisampada, or the 𝒮𝓾 causality, or the 𝐓𝐢𝐩𝐢𝐿, the theory of noble ones. When we look at something, it is in the present moment, but immediately it ceases, but again we can see it. But unfortunately, we think that the previous one is waiting until I come to next moment. When we go to a mirror, our reflection arises at the moment. We know it. But if a cat or dog goes to the mirror, what do they think? They think that there was someone before they go there. After they leave there, still that person remains there. That is why they bark at the mirror. Our all experiences are also like that. We go to a mirror. With this understanding, we immediately come to this understanding and we do all activities giving the priority for this understanding. Whenever we understand this reality, our mind doesn't depend on anything in the world, since we know very well everything arises and ceases. But we fulfill our duties and responsibilities very well. But we gradually overcome ignorance. When we overcome ignorance, automatically craving and anger go away. This is the way how we see the visible results of the Dhamma. If we see this reality, we don't depend on even the Buddha. Only one Buddha may have to give this understanding for us. After we receive this understanding, even hundreds of Buddhas are unable to give up away from this understanding, because that is our own experience. In Buddha's period, one day, Buddha explained this message for a very old person, Brahmin. Dear friend, this is the nature of our life. Everything is impermanent, arising and ceasing. Immediately he became the very first step of enlightenment, Sotapanna, stream entry. Then Buddha left. After few minutes, the Mara, evil one, was looking at this incident. He came with the appearance of the Buddha. Mara came to that person having a body like the Buddha. He says, my friend, I had a mistake. Firstly, I told you everything is impermanent. No, my friend, there is something which is permanent. Then that person look at that person. No, you are not the Buddha. Buddha never says like that. Now I am completely sure that everything is impermanent. Then he disappeared. One Buddha can advise us and help us to become this understanding. After we come to this understanding, even 100 Buddhas are unable to keep us away from this understanding, since that is our own experience. Okay, this is the path of deliverance. We finally come to the enlightenment after we attain arahantship, but on the way we are reaching the final destination. While we are practicing Dhamma, we enjoy our life. The more we purify our mind, the more we are happier. While experiencing our happiness in our day-to-day life, we gradually go forward. Then every issue becomes an opportunity. We make every issue, every problem as an opportunity in our day-to-day life. We face all the issues, problems in our day-to-day life strongly, happily, without suffering. When we face some problems in our day-to-day life, we may be more stronger, since every moment we practice Dhamma, every moment we reduce delusion or ignorance from our mind. Even though we will attain enlightenment after several births, but we don't worry, since we have started our happy journey, happy spiritual journey. Santutti Paramandanam. Happiness or contentment is the greatest treasure. We are satisfied at this present moment. When we come to this understanding, we depend on our practice. We don't even depend on our physical body. Even though our physical body is in old age or has a lot of sicknesses, we don't worry about our physical body. No matter our physical body beautiful or ugly, sick or healthy, it doesn't influence our life, since we are practicing the highest qualities in this world which are sati, samadhi, and panya. Mindfulness, tranquility, and wisdom. When we come to this level, our best friend is mindfulness. We always live with mindfulness, being aware of our body and mind, especially practicing breathing meditation. This is the deliverance path, what the Blessed One explained for us with great compassion and wisdom, with his self-understanding. Okay, in this discussion, firstly we explain how we succeed our day-to-day life fulfilling four things: Utthana Sampada, Araka Sampada, Kalyana Mittata, Samajivikata. Energy, protection, good association, and balanced livelihood. In order to succeed our next life, for a blissful life, we have to practice 3 meritorious deeds: generosity, 5 precepts, and especially metta bhavana. And also for our spiritual development, especially for our enlightenment, with this correct understanding, samadhi, we practice the Noble Eightfold Path, in short, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. In very, very, very short mindfulness. Again, very short, very, very short, reflecting on impermanence, every moment, 5 aggregates arise at the moment, they cease at the moment. Arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. Then, when we see something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we experience something through our senses, we understand, we contact something at the moment, but when we understand the material world, the first experience in the vipaka level or result level has already ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. That mind consciousness also arises and ceases at the moment. Here, we understand a very special concept that I explained last days. Uppada Nirodha and Anupada Nirodha. The cessation of what is arisen and the cessation of what is not arisen. This is the place where you can check your wisdom, your intelligence. In Buddha's period, when Buddha met a person, immediately the Buddha scanned our mind. How much this person has cultivated his wisdom in his previous lives. He had a very special psychic energy, which is Indriya Paro Pariyati Jnana, the understanding of spiritual faculties of a person. Through this very special energy, psychic energy, Buddha checked that how much that person has developed his wisdom in his previous lives. Like that. You can check how much you have this understanding with this concept, which is Uppada Nirodha and Anupada Nirodha. Uppada Nirodha means when we look at something, if we think there is something, this can be destroyed, this can be broken one day. That is Uppada Nirodha, the cessation of what is arisen. This understanding is based on ignorance. All the teachers, all the philosophers, all scientists explain in this world this concept, Uppada Nirodha, the cessation which is arisen. Even scientists dividing atoms, they understand atom consists with electron, proton, neutron. They every moment they arises and ceases. They are like energies. That is also Uppada Nirodha, the cessation which is arisen. They think that still there is something outside. It doesn't mean that there is no something. Actually, there is something in the Vipaka level, in the result level. We can contact something. But when we understand, when we experience it, the very primary experience has already ceased. We understand everything through our mind consciousness. At that moment, the very first experience, my I form, I consciousness, I feeling, I sensation, I consciousness, everything has ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. Then I don't find anything in the external world. I see the world as empty. That is Anupada Nirodha, the cessation which is not arisen. Again and again we will talk the same thing. Don't worry if you don't understand. But this is the real place we should realize and understand. Our cessation, our liberation, our freedom, getting rid of suffering, completely depends on understanding this reality. A lot of people in this world, they explain Uppada Nirodha, the cessation which is arisen. There is a world, they may be destroyed, they may be broken, there are a lot of photos, there is a building, one day this can be destroyed. That is the thing which is Uppada Nirodha. Already there is something, anytime this can be destroyed. That is the thing which is understood by the people who are unwise. But we, Buddha's disciples, by listening to Dhamma, we are going to understand this special concept which is Anupada Nirodha, the cessation of which is not arisen. Have any question? We talked some deep concepts too, which is in Buddhism, no matter you understand or not, but again and again in next days we will discuss the same doctrines in Buddhism. Have any question? Have any question?
I have one question, Bhante. I don't understand the first reason to practice Dhamma. Next one is a death and rebirth and birth, but I don't remember the first one.
Please say again.
First reason to practice Dhamma. Next one was death and rebirth, yes?
Yes. The first one is decay or aging. The second one, death. Third one is rebirth. Decay, death, and rebirth. Because of these three reasons, we should find the Dhamma and the spiritual teacher. If we don't have these three things, we don't need to practice Dhamma. We don't need to find a spiritual teacher. Because of these three reasons, the Dhamma shines in this world. The Dhamma, what the Buddha taught, shines, beautifies in this world because of these three reasons, which are aging or decay, death, and rebirth. As soon as we come to final understanding, the complete understanding of this reality, we overcome these three things. We will die after long period, but immediately, as soon as we come to definite understanding, complete understanding, at that moment we don't find anything in the material world, then our death or aging doesn't influence our life. Since we don't take anything in this world as permanent, we see the world as empty. If no questions, we will finish. Okay, we appreciate your participation and good attention. By the power of listening to this message, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May all your spiritual and educational goals meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation, Nibbana. Dukkhaṃ pantāca niddukkhaṃ, bhayaṃ pantāca nidbhayaṃ, sokaṃ pantāca nissokaṃ, hontu sabbe pipānino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the triple gem bless you.